It was such a vicious beating that AJ got. He looked so bad in that fight against Dubois. I thought to myself, mate, why are you rushing for a rematch against Daniel Dubois? There's absolutely no rush. Take your time, relax, go back, you know what I mean? Sit down with your trainers and analyze the tape and see where you went wrong. Do you know what I mean? And then really think about what your next move is going to be. But from the ramblings after that, a lot of the AJ fans, Eddie Hearn himself, the promoters, he came out and said and told the whole world that there was a rematch clause, between in the contract that Daniel Dubois signed. So, this was all pointing to a Dubois versus Joshua rematch. Now, I'm against that rematch. I'm against that rematch. I just feel like the manner of the defeat that Joshua suffered. I just feel like Daniel Dubois is so full of confidence. He's young. The guy's got fast hands. Do you know what I mean? And after knocking out, what's his name, Anthony Joshua, listen, he's gonna go into that rematch with even more confidence. Do you know what I mean? His tail's up. He's gonna think, you know what, I can even get rid of this guy even quicker. And Anthony Joshua just did not look right in that fight, and it just looks like someone who he struggles against pressure fighters. We saw against Andy Ruiz, who really he took the handbrakes off and he really put the pressure on Anthony Joshua. And we saw what happened to Anthony Joshua when he lost Andy Ruiz. You look at Alexander Usyk again, man, stays busy, force volume. Again, Anthony Joshua just couldn't cope with that style. Daniel Dubois, 27 years of age, again, came out, speed, double jab, put that pressure on Joshua, and Joshua capitulated. We saw what happened in that fight at Wembley. So I was just thinking, you know what? As an AJ fan, as someone who's admired, AJ's career, you know what I mean, the way he came out from the Olympics to that fight against Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley. Look, I want to see the guy leave the sport, with his legacy intact. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, look, he's got some losses there now, especially with the Daniel Dubois loss. His legacy is not looking that great. But for what he's done for British boxing, for what he's achieved, you know what I mean, for what he's done for just bringing more exposure to the sport, to the heavyweight division. Before Joshua, listen, the heavyweight division was dead. It's looking very unlikely that Anthony Joshua is going to fight Daniel Dubois. He's looking like there won't be a rematch. It looks like Frank Warren even came out and said, listen, if Joshua's not ready by February, March, we're moving on to someone else. So these type of talks are intensifying. Even Eddie Hearn, he doesn't seem as confident as he was before about that rematch. He's all of a sudden going to be quiet on it. Joshua hasn't really come out and said anything or tweeted anything in his social media or anything about, still having a strong belief that he wants that rematch. Now, I don't know what has really shifted that mood. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe Joshua and his trainer Ben Davis have sat down and decided and studied the tape and go, you know what? We're better off just, taking another route here. We're better off just going a different direction, staying well clear of Daniel Dubois. That could be one of the reasons behind it. Or, like I said in my previous videos, it could also be that Tyson Fury takes on Alexander Usyk on the 21st of December for three of the belts. Yeah, that's their rematch. Obviously, Fury lost the first fight. Now, me personally, I just feel like Alexander Usyk is levels above. You know what I mean? Especially in the heavyweight division, I think he's the main guy. Yeah, he's the main guy. He's conquered everything. He won undisputed. He had to give up one of the belts because he was forced to do so. And I also kind of like I'm leaning towards Alexander Usyk winning that rematch. Looking at the first press conference, he came in there, he was trolling Tyson Fury. Came in as, Alexander Usyk came in as the hitman. He had the whole suit on, the red tie, the bald head, and Tyson Fury looked really, really, he looked what do you call it? What's the word for it? He looked quite shaken by it. Do you know what I mean? He looked like he was what do you call it? What can I say? He looked kind of like puzzled, didn't he? He looked like someone who was like, whoa, who's this Alexander Usyk? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he looked like a shell of himself. We know Tyson Fury he's never a humble guy. He gives it a gob. You know what I mean? One thing Tyson Fury does, he's got a big mouth. He talks. He's a loud character. Do you know what I mean? He goes in press conferences and he dominates it. Do you know what I mean? And his dad also gets involved. You know how the Furies go. But this time, Tyson Fury's dad wasn't there. You know what I mean? They kept him well aware. Tyson Fury was well behaved in the press conference. He was answering every single question. You know, he said, look, I admit, you know, he wasn't good enough. You know, Alexander Usyk was better than me and he deserved to win. Like, very humble Tyson Fury. And we don't remember seeing that Tyson Fury in the past. So I don't know, maybe he's changed after that defeat. He's a changed man. He's more humble. You know, he now, because he hasn't got that O on his record anymore, he's been beaten. You know, maybe he's thinking, look, I can't really give it all large because, look, you know, I'm standing in front of the man who beat me here. So I don't know, you know, a lot of things could be happening in his private life. He did reveal that, you know, his wife his partner had a miscarriage, you know, when he was fighting Alexander Usyk. So that, you know, psychologically, that could have impacted his preparation for that fight as well. So a lot of things going with Tyson Fury. But just looking at that press conference, me, myself, I just feel like Alexander Usyk got the upper hand on that press conference. You know, in terms of the mind games, the mental warfare, I feel like all of those advantages, you know, went to Alexander Usyk in terms of mind games, mental warfare, psychologically, you know, Alexander Usyk was oozing with confidence. He just looked like a man, a guy who's just knows he's got his opponent's number and he knows he can get rid of Tyson Fury. So looking at that, yeah, is now looking like Alexander Usyk is the favorite going into his rematch against Tyson Fury on the 21st of December in Riyadh, part of the Riyadh season card. Yeah. Now, if Tyson Fury was to lose that fight, and I said this in my previous videos, yeah, the AJ fight makes sense. If Tyson Fury was to lose against Alexander Usyk in the rematch, the AJ fight is next. Is next up. Because look at both guys will be coming off of defeats. Where more can they go? Where can Fury go pick up another big check? He can't fight Wilder again. He's not going to fight Dubois. He's not going to fight Joseph Parker. He's not going to fight Zhilei Zhang. His only other option is Joshua. And it's vice versa. Same for Joshua. Where else will Joshua get a big check, big payout, big crowd, pay-per-views, everything going crazy, and, you know, actually make people get out of their houses and put bums on seat and people pay for pay-per-views? The only other option Joshua's going to have is Tyson Fury. So in the event of a Fury defeat against Alexander Usyk, both men only have each other as options. There will be no other options. And for me, it will make sense. Do you know what I mean? For me, I personally, I said it on my previous videos, you can go back and watch it. That is the fight that's going to happen next, I think. And what we've been hearing lately in the last few days, last couple of weeks, about Joshua not taking a rematch, and even Fury in his press conference, he was saying like, yo, the AJ fight's still there. So everything is leaning, everything is, you know, is going towards, is looking like there's going to be an Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Now, I think that fight happens if Tyson Fury loses to Alexander Usyk in their rematch on the 21st of December. Now, the question is, if Tyson Fury was to win that fight against Alexander Usyk, what happens then? Do Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk have a third fight, a trilogy, to wrap it up and see who's really the best? I don't know if there's gonna really be an appetite for that, because they're gonna be holding up the division, man. Because there's so many fighters out there. You go Bakole, you go Joseph Parker, Zhilei Zhang, you go Kabayao, you know, Fabio Wardley. You got a lot of boxers, a lot of heavyweights out there. Daniel Dubois himself, the IBF, you know, heavyweight champion of the world. The heavyweight division right now is stacked in. It's very exciting. It hasn't been like this in recent years, but right now, there's good potential matchups in the heavyweight division. So a trilogy between Fury and Alexander Usyk, if Fury was to win that second fight, the rematch, is going to hold up the division. So the AJ fight versus Fury is only happening, I think, if Fury was to lose the rematch against Usyk. Now, if Fury was to win it, and he doesn't have to rematch, he doesn't have to have a third fight against Alexander Usyk, would then Fury give AJ an opportunity for the belt? Big fight at Wembley. Now that would be controversial. That would be very controversial. For there's a few reasons why that fight will be controversial. It will be controversial because one, a lot of people are gonna say AJ does not deserve the opportunity to fight for the belt. He's just been knocked out against Daniel Dubois. Why should he get that opportunity? Now that's a valid reason. If that's what you're thinking, that is a valid reason. And I agree with you. I agree with you. In an ideal world, Tyson Fury, if he was to defeat Alexander Usyk on the 21st of December, he will have 3 belts. He should fight Daniel Dubois for an opportunity to become undisputed. In boxing, things don't really always work out like that. Do you know what I mean? Boxing is one of those weird sports. There's a lot of politics. When there's money, big money involved, things don't all the fights that we want to see happen don't always happen. So Tyson Fury might look at it as, you know what? I've got 3 of the belts. I just want one more fight and I'm out. And that one more fight, he will probably say, you know, I want to fight AJ next. Because how long have the British public waited for this fight? How long? And Tyson Fury might say that's the fight to make. I want AJ next at Wembley. A lot of people might be upset by that, but people are still gonna buy the pay-per-view. Come on. Wembley's still gonna do 86,000. Come on, you know it. For me, that'll still be a big fight. Whether AJ deserves it or not, it doesn't really matter because it will still be a big fight. And again, that'll be a happy ending for both. Fury can go out and, you know, and smash up AJ and walk away and say, look, I beat Usyk, I beat AJ, I beat Wilder, I finished, you know, I won I've got 3 of the heavyweight titles. Do you know what I mean? I'm off. I've made big money. That's me done. You know, I'm retired, I'm finished, I'm walking away, I'm off to the sunset. For AJ, it will be a chance, another opportunity to become 3 times world heavyweight champion of the world, beat Fury, prove the doubters wrong that a lot of people believe he can't beat Fury. He beats Fury, makes a lot of money and says, you know what? I've had my time in the sun, walk away. Or he can rematch Daniel Dubois. He can rematch Daniel Dubois and go for undisputed himself, AJ. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of things, a lot of scenario, a lot of events that could happen. But like I always said, I said to Anthony Joshua, just relax. Yeah, wait for the rematch between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk to pass. No need to rush any decisions. Wait for that because once that Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk is done, once that's, you know, out of the way, the landscape will be much clearer. We will be able to see where we are, what's going to happen next. You know, then we can finally know for sure whether Dubois will rematch Anthony Joshua, or if Usyk wins, would he then fight? Would he then rematch Daniel Dubois so Daniel Dubois can have a crack at undisputed? Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. You will really help the channel to grow. Thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. I'm your boy Enzo. Until the next one, peace.